name is Kyle Wooden. I'm the Director of Admission here at Guilford College. Actually not here, I'm at home, just outside of Greensboro and Jamestown, where I reside with my family. My two dogs are in here with me as well. First and foremost, just want to say that I hope everyone's staying healthy throughout this crisis that we're enduring here across the world. And we're thinking about you, and please know that we're here for you, and we're going to be as accessible as possible for you throughout your college decision process. We're going to get into some questions. We had a lot of questions submitted beforehand, which was great. Have those all down. Our expert, who's going to introduce himself here in a little bit, will answer a lot of those. But first, without further ado, our Associate Director of Financial Aid, Doug Campbell, would like to say a few words about himself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on this live feed to kind of go over some of the financial aid questions that you all have. Again, I'm the Associate Director of Financial Aid at Guilford College. I'm working on 2 years now being at the college, and I will say that Guilford is a very, very, very welcoming community. They've done everything to pull together resources to make sure I've gotten off to a really good start on my job here at the college. So amid everything that's going on in the world today, this is just our commitment to you to try to, touch base, answer questions, and just let you all know that we want to stay connected. We want to help in any way possible. So we'll go ahead and get into the financial aid presentation. Just kind of answer some base level questions and kind of give you an overall viewpoint of the financial aid process as it relates to Guilford College.
All right. And also, we need to give a shout out to Molly from our marketing team. Without her, none of this would be possible. Doug and I, we just are very, very kind of one-dimensional in our talents. Doug's financial aid, I'm more admissions. Molly is doing all the background stuff here, sharing her screen. She's got the live stream rolling on Facebook, so we're incredibly thankful for her. So let's get started with the presentation. I think Molly's, there we go.
Here we go. Okay, so first thing is definitely just kind of talking about how to apply for financial aid. The most important thing is to go ahead and fill out your Fafsa form. These become available on October the 1st of each year. It's been available since October 1st of 2019. I know a lot of people have questions about when is the Fafsa deadline, but there's really no hard deadline to fill out the Fafsa. You can actually fill it out at any time, but what you'll find is, as most schools have a priority filing, Fafsa filing date. So you'll want to get it in as soon as possible. They've went to a method where you're using the prior year's income tax information, which allows us to speed up the process by offering the FAFSA filing at that earlier date of October the 1st. So that's open now, free application for federal student aid, and it is a must to be considered for federal state aid programs. Secondly, as it relates to Guilford, that you'll want to apply, submit your application for admissions first. Just by filling out the FAFSA, we in financial aid get your information. But until you fill out your admissions application, that's complete, and you get an admissions decision from Guilford, we won't send out any financial aid information until you've actually submitted the and completed the admissions application. So that's pretty much how you get started with the financial aid aspect of things as it relates to Guilford College. Okay, and what the FAFSA does, it takes some criteria information that you put into the form, and that calculates the expected family contribution number. So the EFC, and this is a term that you'll continue to hear as you're going along through the process. This is pretty much an index and determines your eligibility for federal, state, and also institutional financial aid programs. The kind of metaphor that I like to use is how some sports coaches have their own philosophy of running their teams. With institutions, we take the expected family contribution number that we get back from the FAFSA, and that's how we build your financial aid award package. Now, this number is going to remain consistent from any school that you put on your FAFSA form. It's not going to change from school to school, and it takes into account things like the adjusted gross income, the number of household, the number in your family's household, and the number of people that will be in college for the upcoming academic year to determine the how much your family could potentially pay towards your education. So that's the most important thing to understand about the EFC number, is that this is just an index of your eligibility, and it does remain the same between colleges that you put onto your FAFSA form. And we want to kind of just go over the financial aid timeline to kind of refresh. I know we've all kind of been a little disconnected now, but from now through April, colleges are starting to send out their financial aid award packages. At Guilford, we really try to speed that process up. We understand the importance of maximizing your planning time. So if you can submit your FAFSA early when it becomes available to us and have your admissions application and everything put in, we've been actually sending out financial aid award offers since around late November of this year. And that's something that we're going to continue to try to do in the future. Of course, May 1st, the big day for everybody. It's the nationally recognized day of when students are starting to make their college admissions deposits. So keep that in mind. And then from May and July, it's pretty much you all tying up any loose ends and getting everything in place to start school in the fall. And that means applying, if you need additional assistance, applying for different outside loan programs, submitting your scholarship, making sure all of your scholarship applications are submitted and finalized and getting all that stuff done. And then just really preparing to enroll in the fall. Okay, and now Kyle is going to talk a little bit about our Guilford College scholarships and our grants.
Yep, so everyone that is in this chat room has been or is in the same family as someone that has been admitted to Guilford. So Molly, if we can move to the next slide. All of our students that are accepted to Guilford College receive some sort of merit scholarship. That's our merit scholarship range right there at the top. When we evaluate applications, we look at a variety of factors, including the classes you're taking at your school, what classes are actually offered at your school, how you're performing in those classes. We're actually a test optional institution. I think a lot of people probably know that by now, but students that don't feel like their ACT or SAT scores truly represent who they are as a student do not need to send those in to us. Instead, they can submit an additional piece of writing, and we replace that with those test scores and vice versa. And then finally, it's what you're involved in, what you're bringing to the Guilford community, right? So if you're involved in your high school, you're a leader, you're involved in clubs and organizations, but not just the number of clubs and organizations, but again, taking on leadership roles, all that factors in your merit scholarship, all right? And again, it's based on your application for admission. If you have not, for whatever reason, been accepted yet, please reach out to me. Typically, we release admissions decisions within 2 weeks of receiving all of the application materials. The Guilford College grant. So we like to say in admissions, just from filing the FAFSA, you're going to get additional need-based funding from Guilford, okay? Obviously, the FAFSA creates that expected family contribution number that Doug was speaking of. I haven't met a lot of families that say, you know what, the FAFSA really got it right there. That's the number that I'm going to be able to pay for college. But we do use that as a baseline when we decide how much to give you for that Guilford grant. Again, it's based on your results of the FAFSA, but just $250, if you're in that bracket, that's still worth filing the FAFSA to get that additional funding to come to Guilford College. And that renews all 4 years throughout your entire career here at Guilford. And then some other Guilford College scholarships, legacy. So if you've had a family member graduate from Guilford College, hopefully that's on your application. We'll identify that, and there's a scholarship that can go along with that. Our Bonner Scholars Program, if you've demonstrated a passion for service, right? I know a lot of students have to do a certain amount of hours to graduate from high school, but we really want to see a demonstrated passion for service. We'll flag you for our Bonner Scholars Program. And same thing with our QLSP program, right? So if you have a passion for faith and you're a leader in your high school, we'll recommend you for these programs. And then those programs will reach out to you with another application, interview process, and so forth. So that process for those additional scholarships, it starts with admissions, but the individual programs themselves make those decisions.
Okay, I'm going to jump back in here and talk about a couple of federal and state financial aid programs that you may potentially be eligible for filling out the FAFSA form. So we go ahead and transition. So the first one is usually the most popular federal grant. It's the federal Pell grant. This is a grant given by the federal government. It does not require repayment, and it is a need-based form of financial aid. When you hear the term need-based, that means you have to demonstrate financial need, and that's determined by the expected family contribution number that we get off of your FAFSA form. And the max amount of the current federal Pell grant for this current academic year is $6,195. The trend has been that this does increase about $100 each year. So hopefully that continues in the future. The second federal grant we have is the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. Again, another form of need-based aid. And anytime, again, you hear grants, this does not require any type of repayment. This is free money given from the government or the state. The SEOG grant, what we try to do is award that as much as we can. We try to spread the wealth with that award. I know some schools have different criteria what they do. So that is, it's on the smaller side, but we try to spread it out as much as we can to help maximize as many students' financial aid resources that we can. North Carolina need-based scholarship. So this is an interesting one. I always say that this is really helpful for families that, what I say, fall into no man's land, meaning you're just outside of the eligibility for the federal Pell Grant, but you don't make $1 million and you kind of really need a Pell Grant. And if you're a resident of North Carolina, you can be eligible for the North Carolina need-based scholarship by submitting the FAFSA. The award range goes from about $2,500 up to $15,000. I'm sorry, $2,500 to $7,500. But the EFC, the expected family contribution number for eligible students for this North Carolina need-based scholarship, is from a 0 EFC, meaning a very high need student, all the way up to a $15,000 EFC, meaning that's what your family is expected to pay or could possibly contribute for your cost of education for the upcoming academic year. So again, this is a scholarship for all North Carolina residents. Federal work study, another form of need-based financial aid. The good thing about Guilford is that we offer institutional aid for students who don't necessarily initially qualify for our work study program. At Guilford, students can earn up to about $1,500 per year in the form of work study. We do pay checks. We have to award you checks for the hours and worked for your work study. But there, if you do have a remaining balance, parents ask this all the time, could we designate work study funds to pay towards the student's outstanding balance? We can't automatically take those funds for the way the hours work from a student. We have to present them with the physical check for what they work, but they do have the option to take that check and sign it back over to the college to pay towards that outstanding balance.
Can I jump in here for a second, Doug? Mm-hmm. So we had several questions surrounding work study, so I figured this would be a good time to answer some of those. Yeah. So for those of you that have been on tour with the admissions office at Guilford, our tour guides are work study students. We also have, and those are obviously the students that are very, very, social, and that's what they like doing. In our office, we also have data entry work study students that are uploading transcripts for us and doing data entry. The athletics offices, they have a ton of work study students. So when I was a student at Guilford, I was a baseball player and my work study was in the athletics office. So I would be kind of the floor sweeper at basketball games, essentially. And that was my work study. So there's a lot of options. Typically those jobs are posted towards the end of the summer, and you go through a process as if you're getting hired for a real job, right? So you'll apply online, you'll interview with your prospective supervisor, you'll get hired. The nice thing about work study too is the work schedule is built around your class schedule, right? So there's not a lot of interference there. Typically, you're anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a week. So it's not a major time commitment either.
Okay, good information there from Kyle. Just continuing on, we'll talk about the federal direct loans. We did also got questions about the difference between these two. The first one is the subsidized student loan. Subsidized meaning that the interest on the loan is deferred until the student graduates, and also up until they have a 6 months grace period after they graduate, where the interest is deferred up to on the subsidized student loan. This is a need-based form of financial aid. So again, you have to demonstrate need for the subsidized loan, but that one does not gain any interest on it the whole time the student's in school up until the 6 months after they graduate or withdrawals from a college. Then the second of the two loans being the unsubsidized loan. Unsubsidized essentially is just the opposite of the subsidized loan. Interest does start to accrue on that loan when it is dispersed, depending on the semester that you're using the loan for. The current interest rate for those two federal loan programs for this current academic year is 4.53%. They've been trending downward. Hopefully that continues as well moving in the future. So subsidized loan, no interest gains on it. Unsubsidized interest does start to accrue on that loan when it is dispersed. The federal Parent Plus loan, this is another loan from the Department of Education with the federal government. And it gives the parents and the families a little bit of flexibility on how they want to borrow. Parents will have to submit an application for the Parent Plus loan. And if they are accepted for the loan, it does not tie them into actually taking it out. It just gives you your options, and you can take the loan out for however much you need to cover the cost of attendance for that current academic year. Now, we have some students may be asking, okay, well, what if my parent is not initially accepted for the loan? What are the options after that? So there are 3 different routes you can take from an initially denied Parent Plus loan application. The first is that the institution that you're attending can offer you up to additional $4,000 in the form of the unsubsidized student loan. That is the loan that gains the interest on it, but we can offer you an additional $4,000 in the form of that loan for option 1 of a Parent Plus loan denial. The second option would be for the parent to dispute the credit, the credit check, because they don't check for credit, they check for adverse credit history, to dispute the denial from the application. So what usually happens is the department will say, hey, this is what we saw in your history. Can you give us some documentation to show how you're satisfying what we discovered? That is more of a lengthier process just because they have to reach out to you and you have to supply them documentation, and then they have to get you a result of the documentation that you supplied. So it takes about another week to a week and a half to get a finalized answer on that the credit dispute. So the third option would be for families to pursue an endorser. Pretty much the parent can pursue a co-signer for the Parent Plus loan, and it will allow them to take out what they need up to the cost of attendance to cover that student for that academic year. The loan would be in the name of the parent who was accepted on the initial application or denied, and it pursues an endorser. So the Parent Plus loan, the name is in the loan is in the name of the parent on that loan. The current interest rate on that one is at 7.08%. For this current academic year. Hopefully that will trend downward in the upcoming future as well. All right, next slide. Okay. And some things to do since we're kind of in the middle of the financial aid pipeline. The first one for sure, if you have not submitted your Fafsa, please get that in as soon as possible. So you want whatever planning time you have left, you want to try to maximize that as best as you can. There is, for those who have submitted the Fafsa, there is a process called verification that you may have been flagged to complete. All this is just the Department of Education wanting you to verify the income information and the family size information, household size information that you put into the Fafsa. That's pretty much what that is. And until that verification is complete, any institution would not be able to disperse the federal, state financial aid onto your account. So that's one thing to be mindful of as we're going through the process. If you know that you've been flagged and selected for verification, you can go ahead and start collecting those documents now. You'll be providing copies of the 2018 income tax transcript, or you can just log back into your FAFSA and complete the IRS data retrieval tool, and that will pretty much help you complete the verification process. The third one of these is to submit your entrance counseling and master's promissory note for your student loans. This is required by all first-time borrowers to complete, no matter where you attend. You must submit an entrance counseling and a master's promissory note. You will do that at studentaid.gov. Once you just make a decision on where you're going to college, and if you decide, hey, we're going to need to use a portion of my student loan, or we're going to need to use this to help cover the cost, you must submit this entrance counseling and master's promissory note before the school disperse financial aid loans onto your account for the upcoming academic year. And you can start applying for the Parent Plus loan, I believe, now. Again, that's at studentaid.gov. If you've already made your decision and you're just looking into additional options, you can go ahead and go out to that website. The parent who is interested in potentially using that Parent Plus loan, you'll have to sign in with your FSA username and password at studentaid.gov, and then it'll take you through the application for the Parent Plus loan. Also, submit your outside scholarship information. If you have already obtained confirmations and acceptances for outside scholarships for the upcoming academic year, you can send that in to us now, or send your financial aid counselor an email of the scholarship. And what we'll do, we can put that in as a line item on your account, so we can keep the most accurate updated total of the financial aid that you have. So it eliminates scrambling at the last minute, like, hey, we have this coming in, let's run the numbers again to see what we're going to have. We'll resend you an updated financial aid award offer with those updated that updated outside scholarship information on your award offer sheet. So it helps the families plan and just see a real-time accurate reflection of the total financial aid that you have on your account for the upcoming academic year.
And Doug, that was actually just asked.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How would the outside scholarship impact my financial aid award letter? Mm-hmm. It's tacked on top, right? Yes. I mean, so as those come in, have those letters sent to our financial aid office so we can make your award letter look that much better.
Exactly. Yep, that is correct. And again, that also kind of corresponds to what I'm going to talk about now, is just communicate. The more you communicate with us in admissions and financial aid, the more we know you all as a student and your family, and we'll be able to understand what kind of needs you have, and to look into additional resources to help you, to make sure that you're truly maximizing the financial aid resources that you have available for you at Guilford College. It's always good to get on a first name basis with us, because we're honestly going to probably be some of your best friends on campus for the next 4 years if you do decide to choose Guilford as your college choice. So it's really good to communicate. Don't be afraid to ask questions. No question is a stupid question. This is not the easiest process, especially for first-time families going through this. So feel free to reach out, send us emails. You can call our direct lines. We have our information on the website, and we'll do anything we can, even with us all, mostly working remotely. We're logged on, and we'll try to get you the answers to the questions that you have. Okay. One thing I do want to talk about, special circumstances, and it's really prevalent right now due to the times that we're going through. Professional judgment. Now, we understand at Guilford that life happens, and that you are also submitting income information from a prior year. So, if that's not necessarily true currently, what you can do is submit a professional judgment. What it does is allow our financial aid office to assess your family's financial situation as it currently is, not on what you submitted when the 2018 information that when you submitted the Fafsa. We believe in just assessing you in real time and putting our best foot forward to help students and families that have gone through difficult situations. We have those forms that we will be able to send to you all, and it outlines the documentation that you would need to submit to support your circumstance. You just need to give us a little bit of backstory about what happened, and any additional supporting documentation, so that we can go in, look at what you submitted, and look at where you're currently at, and then reassess your financial eligibility based on where you're currently at. So, to best service and help you all as a family in light of whatever circumstance that may have occurred to impact and change the family's income situation. So that is a possibility at most colleges and universities. You just have to ask. Again, it goes back to communicate, and we'll do what we can to help you all and assess you as accurately as possible. Okay, and then I'll let you all kind of read this, and it just shows a difference between acceptable circumstances and ones that are not considered under the professional judgment guidelines.
That's one where you can take out your phone and take a picture of it. Yep. This is also being recorded as well, so you'll have forever access to the presentation.
Okay.
Perfect. And we have questions, Doug. So I hope you answered a lot of them during the presentation. And this is the time now. If you'd like to chat in a question that you haven't already sent us, feel free to do so. But the first question, Doug, is related to the health insurance appearing on the bill. Is campus health insurance part of the overall bill?
On-campus health insurance will be part of your first initial bill during the fall semester. If your parents already have health insurance on you through their job, the student accounts office provides a link for students to go in and waive the health insurance, and it will immediately drop off of your bill. What the college has to do is assume that you don't have it, and if you do, you can waive it, because we want to ensure that each student is covered, providing anything happens where we may need to go see a doctor or anything like that. So it will be a part of your first initial bill, but you will have the opportunity to waive that health insurance.
I think you kind of just went into this next one, but can you please speak about any extra financial aid or financial assistance secondary to COVID-19 economic stressors, which by nature of the sudden crisis aren't documentable in any official way, like taxes, et cetera, just yet?
Yep. I mean, that's a perfect example of what you will fall into the professional judgment category. Again, we know that you're using the prior year's tax information, and then, having hours cut at a job or losing a position altogether is not immediately identifiable through official forms like your taxes. So what you would need to do, communicate, get in touch with your financial aid counselor, your financial aid office, and then we would start your professional judgment process at that time. And then we would just let you know what all you need to send us, if anything, so that we could go in, reassess you, and award you appropriately. And I know for current students on campus, we have things like emergency funds that we're coming up with to help relieve students and things of that sort. But as far as for the upcoming academic year, you would definitely fall into that professional judgment category.
Perfect. One that just came in via chat. Do you know when the Bonner Scholarships decisions will be released? I can speak to that a little bit. My colleague, Tara Roan, who's our Bonner liaison for the admissions office, has been working very hard with the Bonner Center on campus. There's been a lot of interviews, a lot of wonderful candidates. They're hoping to start releasing decisions within the next week to 2 weeks. So very, very soon. And then the second part of that question was, if I changed my mind for rooming at school, can I decide not to dorm at school anymore to lower my costs?
Okay. So Guilford is a residential campus, but if you do live within a 30-mile radius of the college, you can live off campus. That is a possibility for you if you live within that 30-mile radius of the college.
And if we do have any local students that are logged in right now, if you filed the FAFSA as if you are going to live at home, you may have noticed that there's still a small room and small board charge on your financial aid letter. Per correct me if I'm wrong, Doug, but per the feds, you have to include some sort of costs in that column, even if the students are living at home. So if you're living at home, the only direct cost to the college would be those tuitions and fees, that tuition and fee portion of the financial aid letter. The room and board is just an estimate based on how much you would cost to be fed and housed living at your own house.
Yep, that's correct. Okay.
I may have missed this one, but does your financial aid office keep track of potential outside scholarships?
We actually have a great scholarship platform. It's called Scholarship Universe. Once you submit a deposit to Guilford, you have access to that. It has access to all of our in-house institutional aid opportunities and also global opportunities as well. And it organizes everything for you. It keeps a tab of scholarships that you've applied to, and it has a place where it'll show you potentially are eligible for different types of awards. It'll keep a running list of that number. So it'll show you, hey, you could potentially be eligible for $15,000, $20,000 in scholarships. And you can apply from that one central location within our Scholarship Universe platform. So that's kind of where we house our outside scholarship opportunities.
All right. Can first-year students bring their car? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you haven't been to our campus, I know the students on here, I'm probably hurting your case a little bit to bring your car, but I'm going to do it anyway. We are right in the middle of Greensboro, right? We're not right downtown, but there's a lot right around us. Grocery store, pharmacy, there's a physician's office, that's on our campus. That's all walking distance. Okay. So you can have your car, not a complete necessity. And then what is the average class size? Average class size is about 14 or 15. You're really never going to see a class bigger than 25, 26. We're discussion-based classrooms here at Guilford. So you come to class prepared and it's a conversation for 75 minutes or 2 hours. So very engaging experience. And if the classes were too big, it wouldn't be suited well for that. Where is this Scholarship Universe platform located, Doug?
Oh, it's on our main webpage. If you go under scholarships and grants, if you choose that tab and scroll down halfway to the middle of the page, it actually has a link to the Scholarship Universe website. Again, you must be a deposited student and activated as a student at Guilford to receive access to that. But as soon as you do, you can go in and you can start applying for those awards.
Now, we had a question about the password for Scholarship Universe as well. Is that something once you click on it, you have to create a password in there?
Well, that's a part of the process. It's single sign-on. So when they are activated as a student at Guilford, it'll be their password that they'll create along with their Guilford College username. Is the first part of the email address, I believe.
Awesome. All right. What does it mean to be a deposited student, I'm guessing? So there's a $250 enrollment deposit that officially reserves your spot in the class. That allows you to register for housing, which is happening right now for deposited students. And soon you'll be able to register for classes, obviously have access to Scholarship Universe, which everyone seems to be very excited about on the chat. So thank you for mentioning that, Doug.
No problem.
Is the May 1 commitment date still standing, or has that been pushed out a little bit? So for us, and this is one of the nice things about being an admission counselor at Guilford, is we're very hands-on. We know our students very well, and we're willing to work with you throughout this entire process, right? So in fact, I think tonight you'll get an email for those of you that haven't deposited, kind of mentioning the deposit deadline's coming up, but it also prefaces that if you need more time or you're experiencing what a lot of the country and the world is experiencing, please reach out to your admission counselor, and we're going to work with you throughout the entirety of your decision process. We are going to be very flexible with you. We admitted you to Guilford College with the intention of giving you all the time in the world to make an informed decision so you can get here in the fall, and that's what's most important to us. So if you need more time and you think that's going to extend into May, into June, just keep us updated, and we'll certainly work with you throughout that process. I have exhausted my scholarship and grant search and determined I will need to take out a loan independently. What are the best loan names or types I should seek?
Okay, so at this point, it looks like you're going to look into some private loan lending. Now, with us being associated with college, we can't like we can't recommend you to specific loan lenders due to federal guidelines, but we actually have a link on our website that will do all of do a lot of the footwork for you in comparing and contrasting different type of private loan offerings that we partner with at Guilford College. We use 2 different platforms, Elm Select and Credible. You can go into our scholarship grants and loan page, and at the bottom of that page, you will see the links to Elm Select and Credible. And what it does, it allows you to set up a profile. You will start answering questions about yourself, and then it'll calculate and bring up all the potential private loan lenders and interest rate offerings that you would potentially be eligible for if you want to pursue that specific loan. And one thing I would like to note that with you being a dependent student, more than likely they're going to require a co-signer for those private loans. So your parent would probably be one of your co-signers in order for that to go through. But again, we do have a platform on our website with links that'll go ahead and kind of compare and contrast different all available loan options to you, depending upon the information that you enter into their environment when they're gaining just specific demographic information about you. It'll pull up everything that you will potentially be eligible for.
Another question, will there be a rescheduled accepted student stay? As you know, things are very, very fluid right now. This is a new experience for Doug and I doing this virtual offering. We're going to do a lot more of these, okay? And we're going to do the best we can to show Guilford off to you as best as possible. I know we're working on an updated virtual tour. That'll be a great opportunity for all prospective students, admitted students, deposited students to see campus. You're going to hear interviews with current students. We're going to have a panel coming soon with young alumni where you can ask them questions. So just stay tuned. Keep checking your email. Keep checking your text messages. There's a lot of really exciting things happening.
Okay.
The work study opportunities on or off campus, they're on campus. Those are on campus opportunities for work study. Someone had a question about their email and password not working for Scholarship Universe, Doug.
Okay, I believe we have to confirm if they have the access to that currently. Okay. I know that's in our 35 process. So if it's currently not working right now, it may just be a little early before they've granted you access to Scholarship Universe, and that's something that's on the horizon for sure. Is
it fair to say for all the Scholarship Universe questions, we can for now give them your email address?
Sure.
And you could look into it.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So if Molly doesn't mind just providing Doug's email address in the chat for Scholarship Universe questions, Doug's a good liaison for that, and he could help find you some answers on Scholarship Universe. So like you said, it's still a little early in that process, but it sounds like people are very eager to log in.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
Can you talk about payment plans a little bit, Doug?
Payment plan. So our Office of Student Accounts offers 2 payment plans throughout the academic year. I know we get a lot of questions whereas, hey, do I set this up and it runs, it's just like a 12-month payment plan. They actually break it up. So for the fall semester, payment plans would start in July. And it would go July, August, September, October, and then they would end in November, right before it's time to register for the spring semester. And the way they determine your payments, of course, is whatever your remaining balance is left after all financial aid resources are paid towards your account. They'll just divide that up over 6 payments, and then you'll set up your payment plan. You can set up your account information and everything, and that student accounts will actually provide a link for you. And again, it'll be 6 payments in the first semester of the year, and also that will start again for the spring semester of the year. So you go December, January, February, March, April for the spring semester. So we do offer payment plan options. Again, they just take the remaining balance after financial aid is paid, and they divide that up over the 6 payments.
When should I start applying for loans?
It was a good time, definitely after you've made your college decision. Once you know exactly where you're going to go and your family has a really good grip on what the cost is going to be. I would definitely go ahead and start that process around May. If you're really heavy into the scholarship application process, I will wait a little bit until you start to receive notifications of those, because you don't want to apply for more than you need per se. But if you're kind of at that point to where hey, I'm going to go to Guilford College, and this is what we're looking at, you can go ahead and start that loan process early May, right after you make, if you haven't made your deposit, but if you already made a major deposit, you can use our platform, Credible, Parent Plus Loan, and Elm Select on our website to start that process actually now. So you'll have it out the way. You'll know you have the funding coming, and you can just kind of focus on enjoying your summer and getting ready for the fall semester to attend Guilford.
Can you speak a little bit to international students and if they potentially can qualify for more institutional need-based aid?
Sure. So what we try to do for international and DACA students is we have financial aid assessment worksheets where it allows us to kind of get a picture of your household income information. And from there, alongside your merit scholarship, because every student that applies to Guilford gets a merit scholarship, along package with that, we'll assess your eligibility for additional Guilford College grant. That's another form of institutional financial aid. And depending on where you kind of fall on our metric, you would be eligible for that additional institutional aid, and potentially any of our other institutional scholarship programs, like the Critical Leadership Program, the Barnard Scholars Program, and things of that sort. So international students and also DACA students are definitely eligible for Guilford College institutional scholarships and grants, for sure.
This is the last one that I have, and it's a good one for you. When will I receive my financial aid letter?
Oh, so I know I kind of hit on it earlier. We've been sending those out since late November, but the process goes is you submit your application for admission, you get admitted into the college, and you'll get your acceptance letter. In your acceptance letter, you get your merit scholarship amount. So immediately after that, between 1 to 2 weeks after that, what we try to do is get you your full financial aid award letter, provided that your FAFSA doesn't have any issues. If everything checks out, you'll get your financial aid award offer about, like I said, 1 to 2 weeks after that. In addition to your merit scholarship that you already are knowledgeable of, you'll get your institutional grant, any eligibility for state and federal financial aid, and any loan eligibility will also be on that financial aid award offer. And like I said, we try to get those turned around as quickly as possible. But the caveat is you must apply for admission and be accepted into the college before we'll send out the financial aid award offer.
Okay, we got a couple more that just came in. How can I get my Guilford network login? So after you submit your deposit to my office, we alert the rest of campus that, hey, you're coming to Guilford. This student's coming to Guilford, right? And the rest of campus then kind of switches you over in their system. And our IT department will actually send you an email within 24 to 48 hours. I believe it's called Guilford login information is the first email that you'll get. Basically, it gives you a PIN number that you'll use when you register for classes. When that time comes, it includes details on how to set up your Guilford email account, which is very important. So when you set up your Guilford email account, you should receive another follow-up email to your Guilford email account with your Guilford network login. If you haven't, reach out to me. If you're a deposit student and you can't find your Guilford network login, reach out to me and I'll get in touch with our IT office and have that resent to you or sent to you. The Guilford network login is what you will use to fill out your housing application as well. Are there interdepartmental or other scholarships that are available to students after their freshman year?
Yes, of course. We do have additional interdepartmental scholarships. Those are actually awarded by faculty within that specific academic department. Usually in the spring semester of the prior year, you'll get it going into your the fall semester of the upcoming year. But there are opportunities in addition to, after you've come to Guilford after your freshman year, and if you've displayed good academic had good academic achievements and really been a good steward of the college, there are opportunities for those additional interdepartmental awards. And again, those are in addition to what you have already received from the college coming in. Like, that's not going to change your merit scholarship or your institutional grant, unless you're just one of those really, really extraordinary students and you have a lot of scholarship money and it exceeds your cost of attendance. But other than that, you'll definitely have opportunities for additional departmental scholarships if you come to Guilford.
And we had a question surrounding the honors program and when those final decisions will be made, especially for the waitlisted students. I'm told by the second week of April from our honors director. I actually asked her that question this morning. So by the second week of April, those decisions will be wrapped up. Any more questions for Doug or myself? One more. Given the current situation, have any of the deadlines for info about next steps or scholarships have been delayed, or is the info that we have about when we should expect to hear back still the same? Yeah, so kind of like I touched on earlier, it's one of those things, again, because this is one of the reasons why I love working for the Guilford College admissions office, is because we're so hands-on and we get to know our students so well. We want you to pay your deposit and commit to Guilford when you're 100% sure you're coming to Guilford College, right? If that's tonight after Doug's fantastic presentation, that'd be wonderful. If that's May 2nd, your decision and your scholarship information, that's still going to be there, right? The key is, especially as we get into the late spring and the summer, just stay in touch with us. So we know that you're still considering us, so we can still show you that love throughout the spring and summer up until move-in day. How does the 3-week study abroad program work, and what's the cost?
Okay, so a study abroad, good question. So the 3-week program, well, first thing is you actually work closely with Daniel Diaz in our Office of Study Abroad. Each study abroad program has a specific cost. But since those wherever you're going to, those credits are going to transfer back to Guilford, you're going to pay it's going to almost act like you're a student already, that you're still on campus at Guilford. Usually you're going to still be billed the standard tuition and fees for your cohort coming in. You may potentially have an additional surcharge that may go on top of that, depending on if your study abroad program exceeds. We allow up to $11,500. If it exceeds $11,500, then whatever the difference is of that. So say your program costs $12,500, so you would just have $1,000 tacked on to the cost of your surcharge on top of what your tuition and fees would be for that semester. Again, Guilford College institutional scholarships and your federal eligibility does help pay towards your study abroad programs. That's a really good question. I'm glad they asked that, and I think they popped up. What if you're not living on campus? Your room and board is factored into your specific study abroad program. So if meals are included, then nothing will really change. If meals are included with your study abroad costs or whatever your charge for your program, that's how much it is across the board. If you are not, if you have to handle meals on your own and things of that sort, then that would change your cost a little bit, could potentially reduce it since you're not paying that within your program fee for the study abroad program.
Did you see the most recent question, Doug? Do you have to pay back the federal loans that are on the total loans a year?
Oh, no. So federal loans does not require repayment until you graduate, and you have a 6-month grace period after you graduate. At that point, that's when repayment will start, unless you enroll into a graduate program or enroll in another institution with at least 6 credit hours or more, or whatever is considered half-time at that institution. If you decide to withdraw from the college after the fall semester, you still have that 6 months grace period. But at that time, if you have not enrolled or intend to enroll in the college in at least half time, after that 6 months grace period is up, then you would go into loan repayment. But the easiest way to look at that question is you don't have to worry about repaying federal loans up until 6 months after you graduate or withdraw from a college.
Can you do internships while playing sports? You certainly can. It's again, the beauty of the level that we play at Guilford. So we're Division III, so all of our student athletes don't receive athletic scholarships per se. our athletes are recruited and they come to campus and it's extremely competitive, but at the same time, they get a chance to be a college student too, right? And take advantage of all of those benefits and opportunities that are in our thriving city. So again, as a baseball player, I had an internship when I was in my season. I had teammates that actually interned with the minor league baseball team. So we would get out of practice or an afternoon game and they'd drive up to the stadium in downtown Greensboro and work that in the evening. So certainly if you're doing it right, you're going to have a pretty stellar resume for yourself when you graduate from Guilford College. I think pros and cons of a double major. Doug, were you a double major?
Oh no. Yeah, I can't.
Me neither. I think more and more now a lot of students come in with college credits. So they're dual enrolled in their high school experience, so it makes it a little bit easier. I don't think there's really any cons if you're a good time manager, right? I think that's one of those things. You'll work with your Guilford guide, who's your specialized advisor early on in your career, and they'll help you figure out your path, and then you'll go from there. I really don't think there's any cons, but it's truly having college credits come to Guilford is truly a pro, and that can help make that process a little bit easier. But you're talking to the wrong two for double major experience. As a student athlete, are you allowed to have on-campus student employment as well? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I got a lot of my hours kind of in the off season, but you can certainly still do that. Yep. What is the GPA that you need to maintain and keep your scholarship?
You always want to go into college to keep any awards. You want to be looking at trying to at least maintain a 2.0
GPA. Do we have a Guilford guide all 4 years? They're most visible in your life your first couple of years, and then once you declare a major, they're still with you and they're still a part of your advising team. But you'll also have faculty advisors within your major once you officially declare. What if you want to play sports in college? How does that work? So Doug and I are actually, he's the liaison for the financial aid office and I'm from the admissions office, and we're both the liaisons to athletics. So if that's something where you'd like to be connected with a coach, every coach does it a little bit differently, but all of them will have some sort of kind of walk-on tryout in their off season. So that can be something, again, where we can get you connected. If you reach out to us after this meeting, we can get that process rolling as soon as tomorrow. Well, this has been fun. Sure. I appreciate everyone for logging in and asking such great questions. I think the main thing that we want to get across is even though all this is happening right now, and we truly wish you the best health and your family the best health moving forward, that's the most important thing. Stay in touch with us, lean on us. We certainly want to help you as you finalize your plans. And again, I know there are a lot of questions about the deadlines and things like that. Stay in touch with us, and we'll certainly be as flexible as we possibly can be with you. Again, we admitted you to Guilford College because you all are impressive individuals. We want you to be on our campus next fall. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. So again, thank you. Doug, any last parting words?
Oh, no, just again, everyone stay safe. And again, thank you for joining us tonight to listen to us. Hopefully we covered all of your questions and gave you some answers that you can take back and actually spread within your community as well. Passing along information is always helpful. We will do anything we can to help you. Again, I'm big on the communication aspect. Communicate, reach out, ask questions. The more you know, the better you can plan for college and also assist the people within your local community. So again, thank you for joining us and taking this time out this evening and listening to me and Kyle kind of give you some information about Guilford College.
Go Quakers. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, freshmen can drive on campus. Just saw that. Yes. See y'all.
Yeah, we got them all.